the Civil War, the property went through a number of owners, but in the 1920s, a couple from Washington, D.C. named Devores acquired Chatham. She, the woman, Helen, was a wealthy heiress. He was a former general in the United States Army. And she decided to make Chatham a showplace. And so for several years in the early 1920s, remember this was the heyday of great times in America before the Great Depression, she invested tens of thousands of dollars in the changeover at Chatham. The gardens came at that time. This entrance was built at that time. And the place became a center for society. The garden club routinely came here. There's a great a quote by one of the workers here. He said, Garden Week, those people would come here right up in their big old limousines, Lincoln automobiles, a chauffeur, and I looked at that thing, and man, was that living. It was for rich people, rich people. Man, you could hear them old gals get out there and talk, and voices was way up there high, and they would walk over here and come over into Chatham. After the Devores sold Chatham in 1931, John and Lillian Pratt acquired it. They took a much lower profile. In fact, John Pratt became famous for kind of not wanting visitors at Chatham. One of the wealthiest men in America at the time, he'd worked for General Motors before, became quite a character around town. He would walk miles every day, often seen walking across the Chatham Bridge into town and back again, or even all the way down south of town for 5 or 6 miles to one of his other properties, and he would walk back again. But he was intensely interested in Chatham. He loved Chatham. He cared for Chatham, though after his wife died in the 1940s, he decided to minimize the gardens here, and so they began a steady decline until his death in 1975. John Lee Pratt was one of the great philanthropists of the time. Pratt Park, which stands next door, was named after him, donated by him. St. Clair Brooks Park farther down also was donated by John Lee Pratt, as well as literally millions of dollars to 9 Virginia universities that had a lasting impact on the community and on the state. But maybe the most impressive thing he did was he very quietly and without publicity, and in fact swearing the recipients to silence, he funded the college education of any number of young people in the Fredericksburg area. Gave them the money on the condition that they not tell anybody. And so bit by bit, John Lee Pratt, through his labors and through his giving, helped to make Virginia a better place.